Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Andrew Snort with Creative Community Solutions. And as you know, on the press and media end, we are so fortunate to cover a wide range of story ideas. So whether it's college and professional sports, arts and entertainment, community and nonprofits, business, a little bit of government and politics, and more. We are always excited to be where we are and do what we do. And we're really excited to have a great conversation with a wonderful person doing some tremendous things in pursuing her dream, passion, and making it a family dream and passion. So before we dive in, as a reminder, you can check me out on the web, asnortonccs.com, on Facebook and YouTube, Creative Community Solutions LLC, A Snorton CCS on Instagram and Twitter, and we will also have this available on our LinkedIn and Medium. So, ladies and gentlemen, of course, I always love our guests to introduce themselves. Please go ahead and let us know who you are.
Well, good evening, everyone. I am Dr. Onika St. James, and I am the owner and CEO of Caked at 3918 Confections, Cakery and Confections LLC. We are a licensed home cakery located in Gwinnett County, and we are a family-owned business.
Wow, I tell you what, that's already impressive, doctor, and doing some things in the culinary world. Before we dive in on what you're doing business-wise, give us a point of reference. Where are you originally from? And I know you already mentioned it, where you're based out of, and then describe to us when you developed that love for the culinary arts.
Okay, so I am a native of Montgomery, Alabama. I'm a proud graduate of the Alabama State University, where I went, had my undergraduate career established. Montgomery, Alabama is my home. That's my family's home. And that is actually where the name Caked at 3918 originated. The 3918 is the physical address of my grandparents' home. And so my love for baking really started there in my grandparents' home. My grandmother, Annie L. Thomas, she's deceased now, but she just really helped to cultivate my love for baking and for great homemade desserts. Growing up, we never had store-bought cakes, whether it was a birthday, anniversary, or holiday gathering. I have so many memories of my grandmother baking there at 3918, and it was always early morning. The house was always quiet, and the first rule of thumb was never to open the oven while the cake was baking. So that's really where I started. I'm the oldest grandchild, and for quite some time, I was the only grandchild and the only child for 8 years. So I had a lot of time with my grandparents. By day, my actual profession is a middle school assistant principal for sixth grade, and so that is my daytime profession. But by night, when I get home, I am most happy in my kitchen space, cultivating recipes and making things, cakes, confections, cupcakes, and things of that nature.
Wow. And I tell you what, it's great when we find out the backstory, and sometimes it's either family or, that one person that motivated, encouraged, inspired. How did you know that this was something you wanted to dive a little bit deeper into? Because, like you said, there's always almost that extension of family. How did you know, or when was that moment where it's like, I need to take this just a little bit further?
It was the moment, honestly, God was waking me up and I could not sleep. He would not allow me to rest. Kept coming to me with the scripture in Habakkuk, write the vision and make it plain. And so coming in from work, I would just bake and I would actually give the cakes away. But I used the baking as a way to unwind from my work day, and I would just give the cakes away, like to my friends, say, hey, I made this. I would surprise them on their birthdays or different events that they had with making the cake. And so my son, Ronaldo St. James II, he sat me down and he said, Mom, he said, you're really just giving your talent away. And so he is a marketing guru. He graduated from Hampton University in marketing. And so the visions and the dreams kept coming to me, just different ideas about baking, different ideas about cupcakes, different flavors. And so he just sat me down and he said, hey, he said, we're going to get on a timeline. And he said, you really need to start a business. And he reminded me of something that I've always told him growing up. Like, if you're not moving, you're not growing. Like what are you doing to further develop yourself? And so he put us on a timeline, and at our kitchen table we began to have consultation sessions, and he began to teach me about marketing strategies, about price points, about branding. And so it started from there. And so we had a timeline, we had a calendar, and each week there was something that he gave me an assigned task, that was something that he did, that he researched. And it just grew from there. And so we got the licensing, we got the food certification from the state of Georgia, reached out to someone about the branding and the logo, and we had a soft launch date and a hard launch date, and here we are, 3 years later, and that was in 2022.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, it's great that you were able to go in-house and go with family who already had, a point of reference and knowledge base. And
Mhm.
like you said before, 2022, I know, like 2020 and 2021, during that dormant time with the pandemic, it also served as an incubator for different ideas, making the abstract concrete, and like you said, writing down the vision and making it plain.
Mhm.
So here you are 3 years after, I'll say, getting more formalized. Walk us through not only some of this, a few, not everything, because we want people to go ahead and buy and support, but walk us through just a few of the culinary specialties, as well as different, events, engagements you've been able to do, so people are aware of the great work that you're doing.
Okay, so two of our signature items that's always on our menu, we take these two items to every event that we go to, and that is our Lunette's Red Velvet Cake. That one is named in honor of my grandmother, and our other signature pound cake item is our seven flavor pound cake. And so when we do events, we definitely will always have those two items, and then we take a variety of cupcakes and cake buntlets, and we take cake jars sometimes, and then we also make dipped treats. So it could be cake sickles, dipped pretzels, the cake jars in a variety of flavors, but we definitely always take those two signature items to every event that we go to. Another customer favorite is always our key lime. Our key lime cupcakes, the key lime cake. We also offer a variety of, let's just say, if you just want a buttercream cake to celebrate getting to the end of your work week, we have that in chocolate. We offer it in strawberry. We offer it in lemon, and then just a plain vanilla buttercream cake. We make everything from scratch. And so when I'm saying we, I am the primary confectioner. That's my title. And then my son, Ronaldo, he does all things pricing, um, branding, packaging, putting things out on our social media platform. That is his really, he's a guru with that. Family wise, we call ourselves the eight pack. My mother, and then I have my two siblings. I have a brother and a sister, my two nieces, and also my brother in law. And so we just kind of got that term, the eight pack, in our family group chat. But the eight pack definitely shows up. So primarily here in our home, it's just me and my son. But when we have large events, everyone shows up. They're wearing their Cake That 3918 merchandise, and everyone has a role of how we're getting prepared, from packing the car, from doing labels to doing the head count. Everybody in the eight pack has a role. So I definitely want to emphasize that, because that is what I think sets our business apart from others, is the help and the love of family, and that keeps that rich legacy alive in honor of my grandparents that caked at 3918.
And I'm hearing Sly Stones, it's a family affair all over again, but it really, really is. So you've walked us through, you know, family has been central to this part of your journey in regards to your grandmother, incorporating your son's expertise, other family members, different events that you've done. So here we are post Labor Day. In the month of September, do you have any, I don't know, upcoming events or things along those lines where people can connect and engage with you?
In the month of September, we are now looking into going back to Jazz in the Alley. We were at Jazz in the Alley in August, and that was a great event for us. Other events that we have done is an event that we've done every year called Gymtopia with my sorority, the Gwinnett County Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority. And when we do Gymtopia, that is our way of volunteering back in the community, and students register for this event, and we offer a cake decorating class. And so with that class, we assemble baker's bags. The kids have a baker's item in there. They have a decorating tip. They have a cupcake. They have icing. And I actually give instruction on baking 101, and we actually go through and we decorate a cupcake, kind of like a cupcake wars kind of thing, if you will. Other events that we've done, we've donated gift certificates, to auction off. And then coming up, we are hoping to partner with some nonprofit events where we can donate cakes, perhaps for patients who are terminally ill when they get to ring the bell at the end of their chemo treatment, and for terminally ill children, who want to celebrate milestone events in their lives, like birthdays and that type of thing. I'm very passionate about donating and giving back to um, the Cancer Society, because I've had two grandmothers to pass away from pancreatic cancer. In one of the grandmothers in particular that we're talking about, the Lunette's red velvet cake. And so I definitely watched her strength and her resilience throughout her journey, and even in those last days. So I'm very passionate about wanting to cake someone's day with the dessert when ever possible. And so along our line of things that we offer, we do offer a vegan carrot cake, which is by request, and then we do offer gluten-free items as well. So we try to appeal to everybody's taste. On a weekly basis, we offer cake slices on our site because we recognize that there are times where a whole cake is appropriate for different things. And then there are times where, if you have a small household like ours, customers may want to indulge in just a slice or two. So we try to be very flexible. And moving forward, pretty soon, we are getting ready to offer a line of gourmet pound cakes that I'm very, very excited about. And also start doing birthday parties for kids, where we go and we do all of the activities for children. So really excited about a lot of things coming up. I will say that we've learned a lot of things, along the way, kind of like do's and don'ts. So it's always about pricing and how to price it effectively for what you're doing for your time, and your creativity. So the day starts very early. I often start baking at like 5 a.m. Before I go to work to middle school, and often like late nights when I get home. But it is all worth it. It is all enjoyable.
Well, I tell you what, walking through the timeline of, the impact of family, the motivation, the inspiration, the tremendous work you're doing, the different events that you've done, and the ones that are on the horizon. It's a balance
Mhm.
of community events, different festivals, special occasions, or like you said, ordering by the slice. You're covering a wide range of services to help satisfy people's sweet tooth. Definitely. So as we get ready to wind down, remind people of the preferred ways to get in contact, website, social media, things along those lines, so they can learn more.
Okay, so again, we are Caked, CAKEDAT 3918, Caked at 3918, and that is how we are listed on Facebook and Instagram. On our website, it is www.caked at 3918.com. And when people go on the site and they do an online order, if it is for like an event that they have coming up, say we've done corporate events, once the order is placed, I actually call and I do a cake consult, just to go over how many people are you expecting? What is the maximum number of people you are looking to feed? Are you looking for two different varieties of cake flavors? Are you interested in cupcakes? Are you interested in, let's just say, a 6-inch, 3-tier round cake and then a dozen cupcakes, just to really get more details and specifics, to offer a wide variety of options. I will say that we specialize in buttercream, and so that is our go-to. That is definitely one of our favorites.
Hey, great. Well, I tell you what, thank you so much for taking and making time. And before we conclude, if people don't remember anything about the family motivation and inspiration, the growing services that you provide, if people don't remember any of that, what's one takeaway, whether it's regarding what you're doing or just life in general? What's one takeaway that you'd like people to have?
Bet on yourself, and don't ignore your passion, because when it is your passion, it doesn't feel like work. But when you're having those nudges, in the quiet stillness of the night that won't let you rest, don't ignore those things. Don't ignore those things. And the last thing is that you don't have to have anything to celebrate, just for us to cake your day. I say have a slice of cake just when you want to celebrate, yourself, whether it's a big moment or a small moment. Let us cake your day. It doesn't have to be anything. Just you want to celebrate whatever it is.
I tell you what, again, thank you so much for taking and making time. I know there's work to do, but seriously, thank you for taking and making time. And as a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, visit acenortonccs.com, click on the menu for articles and coverage, and you'll find our article there. Creative Community Solutions LLC on Facebook and YouTube, Ace Norton CCS on Instagram and Twitter. And we will also have this out on LinkedIn and Medium. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time connecting with our guest. Please do not let it be the last. Like, share, repost, all that, and then some. And let them, as they say, let them cake your day. So
Yes.
thank you. Thank you so much again. Until next time, everybody take very good care. Look forward to seeing you real soon.
Thank you.